This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Season's greetings to you all. I'm Shasheena, Rolle as always. It is so great to have you with us. Topping news, investigations are continuing into that deadly fire that swept through the Haitian community of the Mud Tuesday night. 2 residents, a mother and her toddler, perished in that blaze and hundreds left homeless. Joan Davis Rolle spoke with some of the fire victims yesterday. Here's that report.
The worst fire that I have seen since I've been in Abaco, almost 30 years.
It is the gut-wrenching sound of grief. The tragic imagery mirrors the reality of hundreds of residents, persons who in a matter of hours moved from homeowners to homeless. This as a deadly blaze swept through a shanty community in Abaco known as Pigeon P.
When I reached, the fire was, nobody couldn't control it, so I can't say much. I watched my house go down. I took my son and I walked out.
You lost everything?
Yes, exactly. I lose everything. I don't find anything. But now I'm got only that one. I'm going to church last night. That's why I have it. I don't have anything again.
When I came out, I saw the house us in blazes and my Jeep, my mom back. All I could have done was drive out through the fire with my Jeep. I didn't want to lose my vehicle and my mom's vehicle. So what we did was drive out and then we just watched everything burn. We didn't save anything.
The houses are too close together, so they burn rapidly and the wind played a major factor.
The massive fire in the Pigeon P area not the only tragedy for this community. In fact, a devastating blow coming with the discovery of 2 bodies. That of an infant that was found here. The body of his mother was found just a few yards away in a bathtub.
Burnt beyond recognition were mother and son Darlene Jacob and 14-month-old Daniel Persat.
I don't know. You just call me fire. Fire.
She says she was right there in the house when the call, this is fire started. When she ran over there and the house already engulfed. And we realized that the baby perished in the fire. But we didn't know the mother was perished too until later this morning, early this morning. And we understand that the mother was passed away in the fire to try to save the baby.
In an immediate move to help bring relief, the Minister for Grand Bahama and Michelle Reckley's urban renewal team boarded a flight, Abaco bound, where they joined the Deputy Prime Minister and a cadre of government and non-government officials as they moved to the fire-ravaged scene, all joining hands in aid of what many believe are countless victims.
This is a devastation. We get that more than 70 homes and 75 have been displaced, because of what we heard. It's important that we come over immediately. Thanks to, as you know, this is Northern Bahama, Urban Renewal. Northern Grand Bahama has jumped into action. As you can see, they're here to lend assistance, and they brought some relief already. And I thank the Minister of Grand Bahama for jumping on and being on board.
We heard about the incident and we mobilized immediately to ensure that we had the manpower resources on the ground and to assist the Department of Social Services in any which way we can, in coordination with all of our urban renewal centers here on the island of Abaco.
We will be in full force with as much food as we can possibly get, as much clothes as we can get, because as you can see, these persons lost everything. And as DPM said, there's also been loss of life, but we are grateful to God. It could have been worse.
Joan Davis Rolle, ZNS Network News.
Thank you, Joan. Well, police are investigating a robbery that occurred in the Beaconsfield area yesterday. Reports say a man was walking in that community around 5:30 p.m. when he was approached by a man known to him who robbed him of his cell phone and stabbed him about the body with a knife. The attacker was reportedly wearing a brown jacket, white shirt, and brown cargo pants. The condition of the victim is not known at this time. And 2 young men remanded to prison today after being charged with robbing the Texaco service station in 8 Mile Rock last Friday. 20-year-old Devon Hall of Hannah Hill and Donaldson Hall Hall, 19 of Clark Avenue, were both charged with armed robbery. Additionally, Donaldson Hall was charged with possession of an unlicensed firearm and 2 counts of possession of ammunition. Bail was denied and the matter was adjourned to February 27th for the beginning of a trial. Now, the men are accused of robbing the Texaco gas station in 8 Mile Walk around 7 p.m. on Friday night. Police say their investigations led them to Hannah Hill area where they reportedly found the illegal firearm, ammunition, and some cash suspected of being stolen during that robbery. And still on the crime beat, 30-year-old Cameron John of Bass Lane appearing before the magistrate's court in Freeport today on possession of an unlicensed firearm and ammunition. John pled guilty to all charges and he was remanded to Her Majesty's Prison in New Providence until February 26 when he will return for the beginning of a trial. Well, as the government escalates the war on crime, there is another appeal for the authorities to overhaul the system of bail and make some form of grief counseling available to those impacted by crime. This request coming from a local pastor who is still trying to come to terms with the loss of his son. It was just back in October when Greg Bullard's son, Joshua Bullard, was killed in the Fawcett Lane area. The 23-year-old's body was discovered lying on the ground in front of a residence with multiple gunshot wounds to the body. Last week, one man was hauled before the court for the murder and has since been remanded to Her Majesty's Prison. But Bullard says what's unbelievable is the fact that the young man was reportedly on bail for another crime. He believes something must be done.
As I listen attentively to the Commissioner of Police, Grain Slade, it seems to me that this is not an occasional thing, but it seems to be happening on a widespread scale, that young people who have committed multiple offenses, in some cases indictable offenses, are getting bailed.
While he says he understands that bail is a part of the judicial process, he strongly disagrees with persons who are already on bail receiving bail after committing a subsequent crime.
Repeated offenders should not be getting bails, especially when one of the previous reasons for getting bail was that they were charged with an indictable offense. Murder, gun, armed robbery. Those kinds of persons should not be getting no 2 and 3 bails because they will be a menace to society.
The hurting father says this Christmas was extremely difficult as his family visited Joshua's gravesite to mourn their loss. Nonetheless, he says he can't help but have compassion for the accused.
While I could easily be angry with this young man who is charged for the murder of my son, on the other hand, I have to also be sympathetic. I think the state, our society, should be very much involved and concerned that young men whose family members have been murdered get the necessary counseling that they need.
Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition continues right after this.